Free advice. A doctor and a lawyer were talking at a party. Their conversation was constantly interrupted by people describing their ailments and asking the doctor for free medical advice. After an hour of this, the exasperated doctor asked the lawyer, "What do you do to stop people from asking you for legal advice when you're out of the office?" "I give it to them," replied the lawyer, "and then I send them a bill." The doctor was shocked, but agreed to give it a try. The next day, still feeling slightly guilty, the doctor prepared the bills. When he went to place them in his mailbox, he found a bill from the lawyer. How did you sell that ugly suit? When the store manager returned from lunch, he noticed his clerk's hand was bandaged, but before he could ask about the bandage, the clerk said he had some very good news for him. "Guess what, sir?" the clerk said. "I finally sold that terrible ugly suit we have had so long." "Do you mean that repulsive pink and blue double-breasted thing?" the manager asked. "That is the one." "That is great," the manager cried. "I thought we would never get rid of that monstrosity. That had to be the ugliest suit we have ever had. But why your hand is bandaged?" "Oh," the clerk replied, "after I sold the guy that suit, his guide dog bit me." Back up 2 miles. A farmer and his son, traveling by horse and buggy up a narrow lane, met a motorist going the other way. There was no room to pass for 2 miles in either direction. The motorist, in a hurry, honked his horn. "If you don't back up," said the farmer, rolling up his sleeves, "I won't like what I am going to have to do." The surprised driver put his car in reverse and backed up 2 miles, allowing the horse and buggy to go by. "What was it you wouldn't have liked to have done back there?" asked the farmer's son. "Back up 2 miles," replied the farmer. I hung him up to dry. Jim and Mary were both patients in a mental hospital. One day while they were walking by the hospital swimming pool, Jim suddenly jumped into the deep end. He sank to the bottom. Mary promptly jumped in to save him. She swam to the bottom and pulled Jim out. When the medical director became aware of Mary's heroic act, he immediately reviewed her file and called her into his office. "Mary, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you're being discharged because since you were able to jump in and save the life of another patient, I think you've regained your senses. The bad news is Jim, the patient you saved, hung himself with his bathrobe belt in the bathroom, and he's dead." Mary replied, "He didn't hang himself. I hung him up to dry." A vacation cruise. One stupid guy reads an ad about a vacation cruise that costs only $100. After he signs up and pays, the travel agent hits him with a bat, knocks him unconscious, and throws him out the back door into the river. Soon another guy comes in, pays his fee, and gets the same treatment. 15 minutes later, as the two are floating down the river together, the first man says, "I wonder if they are serving any food on this cruise." "I don't know," the second guy replied. "They didn't last year." Give me whatever you prefer. A gentleman walks into a store and asked for a pair of gloves. "Cloth or leather?" asked the salesperson. "Makes no difference," replied the customer. "What color?" asked the clerk. "Any," he responded. "Size?" "Give me whatever you prefer," the gentleman said, slightly exasperated. "My wife will be back tomorrow to exchange them." Click like if you liked this video. Share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned on our 5-Minute Jokes channel.